You see, women aren't wired to remember merely what you did. They remember how you made them feel. That's female psychology at its core. Now, let me shake things up a bit. Too many men waste time trying to impress women with money, cars, or grand gestures. Sure, those things might grab attention for a short while, but they fade. What women carry for years, sometimes for life, are the subtle but unforgettable actions of a man who truly understood her mind, her emotions, and her hidden desires. Think about it. Every woman has that one guy she'll never forget. Not always the richest, not always the most handsome, but he's the one who knew exactly how to touch her emotions, challenge her just the right way, and remain firm when others crumbled. That's the man she remembers in the quiet moments of the night, no matter who she's with. And here's a bitter pill most men don't want to swallow. You don't become unforgettable by being perfect. You become unforgettable by being real, by understanding her psychology better than she understands herself. Today, I'm going to break this down for you. 10 things that, if you do them, she'll never erase you from her memory. Ever. 1. The man who says no without fear. Most men think the way to win a woman's heart is to say yes constantly. Yes to her requests, yes to her demands, even when they don't want to. They believe this makes them look caring, generous, or romantic. But here's the truth women rarely admit. A man who says yes all the time becomes forgettable. He blends in with the crowd of men who bend over backward just to keep a woman happy. What makes a man unforgettable is his ability to say no and stick to it. Why? Because no communicates power, boundaries, and self-respect. It signals that you aren't afraid of losing her approval, and in female psychology, that's magnetic. Women might argue in the moment, but deep down, they admire the man who refuses to be controlled by their whims. Saying no doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means valuing yourself enough not to be walked over. Women remember the man who drew a line because most men are too afraid to do so. And let's be honest, if you can't say no to her, you can't lead her. If you can't lead her, she'll never fully respect you. This is where most men fail. They think rejecting her wishes equals rejecting her. Wrong. A firm no makes your yes more valuable. It separates you from the countless guys desperate for approval. She may test you, argue, or act upset, but in her memory, you'll stand out as the man with the backbone to stay true to himself. Example: she asks you to cancel an important meeting just to go shopping. A forgettable man says yes to keep her smiling. An unforgettable man calmly says, "No, I have priorities today. We'll do it another time." She may pout, but later she'll remember that you didn't fold, and that memory lasts longer than any shopping trip. 2. The man who walks away. Nothing shakes a woman more than a man who knows when to walk away. Most men cling to women, even when disrespected, ignored, or treated as an afterthought. They stay out of fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of not finding someone else. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The man who walks away first, without begging or drama, is the one she never forgets. Why? Because women are used to being chased. They're used to men fighting for every scrap of attention. When a man walks away first, it flips her psychology upside down. Suddenly, he's not seeking her approval, and she's forced to ask why he didn't need it in the first place. That question lingers. That memory burns. Walking away isn't arrogance or cruelty, it's self-respect. It shows her that you refuse to stay where you're not valued. It tells her your dignity matters more than her temporary validation. Here's the twist. When you walk away first, she often starts chasing. Deep down, women respect the man who chooses himself. Years later, even if she forgets every man who begged or pleaded, she'll never forget the one who walked away with quiet strength. That's the man who haunts her thoughts because he was rare, different, unafraid. Example: she plays games, ignores your calls, acts as if you don't matter. A typical man keeps calling and texting. The unforgettable man simply stops, walks away, and doesn't look back. She may not admit it, but long after, she remembers the man who didn't tolerate disrespect because he valued himself more than her games. 3. The man who doesn't compete for her attention. Most men fall into the same trap. They compete for a woman's attention as if it's a prize to win. They text non-stop, try to outshine other men, fight for a spot in her schedule. Here's reality. The moment you compete, you've already lowered your value in her eyes. A man who competes is silently saying, "You were above me, and I need to prove myself." Notice something. The men women chase aren't the ones chasing them back. That's no accident. Women respect men who create their own world and invite her into it, not men who beg for her spotlight. Competing makes you one of many, forgettable and replaceable. The man who doesn't compete stands apart. He's focused on his own goals, his mission, his life. And ironically, that's what draws her in. She wonders, why isn't he trying harder? Why doesn't he act desperate like the others? That curiosity plants attraction. If you have to fight for her attention, you've already lost her respect. Women never forget the man who made her work for his attention, because he showed that his time is valuable, his presence isn't cheap, and his life doesn't revolve around her. Attention is a currency. The careless spender gets ignored. The wise investor becomes unforgettable. The man who never competed, he's the one who stays in her memory. 4. The man who exposes her flaws calmly. Most men don't like hearing this. Ignoring her flaws isn't doing her any favors. Many men stay silent when a woman is clearly wrong, disrespectful, or out of line just because they fear losing her. That silence doesn't make you good, it makes you weak, and women never forget weakness. What they remember is the man who calmly, without anger or drama, points out her flaws and doesn't let her slide with bad behavior. Why? He shows leadership, values truth over temporary approval, and proves he has a spine. Women test men constantly, not to be cruel, but to see if you'll hold your ground. Fail every test, and you may keep her body, but never her mind. Exposing flaws calmly doesn't mean humiliating her. It means pointing out what's wrong in a firm but respectful way. That's control. That's unforgettable. Men who let women get away with everything, forgotten. Men who made her stop, reflect, and adjust, that's the man who stays in her mind long after. Because he was different. He wasn't scared of her reaction. He was scared of losing himself. That's unforgettable. 5. The man who controls his desire. One of the fastest ways to lose respect is letting desire control you. Too many men act like they can't think straight around an attractive woman. They chase, beg, fold, all because of lust. Here's the truth. The moment a woman senses you can't control desire, she knows she controls you. The man who holds back, who doesn't throw himself at her feet, becomes unforgettable. Why? He flips the script. Most women are used to men who can't say no, melt at a little skin, or lose composure to get her. The man who doesn't? Rare. That discipline signals leadership, focus, and self-mastery, qualities women deeply respect. The man who desires her but restrains himself, he makes her question, why doesn't he want me like everyone else? That question burns, cementing the memory. Too easy, too available, too hungry, forgettable. Desire controlled, unforgettable. 6. The man who makes her earn your respect. Many men get this wrong. They give respect too freely. Meet a beautiful woman and instantly treat her like a queen, even if she hasn't earned it. That doesn't impress, it diminishes you. Women value what's earned. Respect given freely loses its power. The unforgettable man doesn't hand respect over because she's attractive. He makes her earn it through actions, loyalty, and character. This flips her psychology. She must rise to meet your standards. Respect has value. When she treasures it, she never forgets you. Unlike others, you didn't fall at her feet. You made her meet your standards. 8. The man who withholds validation. Most men throw validation around like it costs nothing. Constant compliments, emojis, reminders of perfection. Cheap validation loses all value. Women see it every day. Do they remember? No. The unforgettable man gives validation sparingly. Words matter because they're earned. Withholding validation isn't being cold, it's respecting your own power. Women remember the man who didn't give approval freely. That rarity makes him unforgettable. 9. The man who breaks her routine. Women crave unpredictability, yet most men become routine themselves. Predictable texts, dates, conversations. Predictable men, forgettable. The unforgettable man disrupts her routine in ways that leave a mark. He doesn't fit neatly into her schedule, doesn't act like every other guy. He makes her feel something different, and those feelings stick. Impact beats niceness. Disruption without chaos, that's unforgettable. 10. The man who challenges her fantasy of control. Women may act like they want control, but they don't respect men they can manipulate. Many men hand over the steering wheel, scared of upsetting her. Result? Forgettable. The unforgettable man challenges her illusion of control, not with ego, but firm leadership. A woman ignoring you isn't necessarily a negative. It's an opportunity. This is your chance to show that you're not like every other man who falls apart at a little distance. How you respond can either elevate her attraction to you or destroy it completely. The choice is yours. This video will reveal the 5 mistakes you absolutely cannot afford to make when she ignores you. These aren't random tips, they're hard truths that separate men who succeed in relationships from those who constantly get ghosted, ignored, or taken for granted. If you're tired of chasing women who don't seem to care, or if you want to take back control of your dating life, this is the lesson you need. You'll learn how to maintain control, keep your masculine frame, and turn the tables in your favor. Forget overthinking or second-guessing. This is about handling the situation with clarity, strength, and confidence. Let's dive into these mistakes so you never lose your power again. Mistake 1. Over-texting or over-communicating. When she starts ignoring you, your first instinct might be to reach out repeatedly. You tell yourself, if I just say the right thing, she'll respond. That mindset is a trap. Bombarding her with calls, texts, or messages only signals desperation, insecurity, and a lack of emotional control. The moment you over-communicate, you place more value on her response than your self-respect, and that's the fastest way to kill attraction. Think about it. If you're constantly chasing her, when does she have time to miss you? She doesn't. Instead of letting the silence create tension, you smother it with excessive communication, which makes you appear weak. The better approach is silence. Resist the urge to follow up after your first message is ignored. She knows you sent it. Let her sit with your absence. Women are naturally curious, and when you stop chasing, it creates intrigue. It makes her question her assumptions. Is he busy? Is he losing interest? Those are the thoughts you want in her mind, not, why won't this guy leave me alone? Understand this. No response is still a response. If she's ignoring you, she's sending a message. Instead of reacting emotionally, step back and assess the situation. Maybe she's testing you. Maybe she's genuinely uninterested. Either way, over-communicating never helps. A man who values his time and energy doesn't chase someone who isn't reciprocating effort. He sets boundaries and walks away when necessary. That's what makes him attractive. Don't explain yourself. Don't double text. Don't ask why she's not replying. Your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Let her feel your absence. It's far more powerful than begging for attention. Mistake 2. Trying to win her back. Many men make the critical error of trying to win her back. They overcompensate, grand gestures, bending over backwards, trying to prove their worth. Gifts, compliments, promises they don't intend to keep. These behaviors all scream desperation. Desperation is one of the least attractive traits a man can display. It signals that you don't value yourself and that your happiness depends on her approval. Women don't respect men who put them on a pedestal and act like her absence will ruin their lives. The moment she feels she has the upper hand, her interest drops. Here's the hard truth. Attraction can't be forced. Over-delivering or trying to convince her to stay destroys both respect and mystery. The more you chase, the more control she feels she has, and the less she respects you. A woman needs to feel she's with a man who has options, not someone who'll do anything to keep her. Instead of trying to win her back, focus on yourself, your goals, passions, and high-value habits. Hit the gym, dive into your hobbies, spend time with friends who value you. When she sees you thriving without her, it creates a sense of fear, a fear that she might lose someone who doesn't need her validation. Maintain your composure. Don't text long apologies. Don't remind her how great you are. Let your actions speak. A man who knows his worth never convinces someone to stay. He operates from abundance, not scarcity. If she ignores you, it's her loss, not yours. Stay confident and secure. Either she comes back or space is made for someone who truly values what you bring. Either way, you win. Mistake 3. Reacting out of anger or frustration. It's easy to let emotions take over. Anger, frustration, pride, or hurt. Impulsive reactions like lashing out, guilt-tripping, posting passive-aggressive content, or confronting her with, "Why are you ignoring me?" may feel justified, but they make things worse. Reacting in anger immediately signals she has power over you. It shows your emotional state has been affected and you've lost control. Women respect men who maintain composure under disappointment or rejection. Losing your cool confirms she made the right choice in ignoring you. Emotional reactions also appear needy. Anger or frustration communicates, "Your attention is so important I can't function without it." That frame puts you in a weaker position. The better approach, remain calm and composed. Silence is your best weapon. Don't feed the drama, channel your energy productively. Hit the gym, work on personal projects, or spend time with people who value you. When she sees your confidence unaffected, it shifts the narrative. She wonders why you're not reacting, and that curiosity can lead her to reinitiate contact. Women are attracted to men who handle adversity with grace. Composure signals emotional maturity and strength. Reacting in anger only weakens your position. A composed, confident man doesn't let someone else's behavior dictate his actions or self-worth. Maintaining control preserves your dignity and reinforces your value in her eyes. Mistake 4. Seeking validation or apologizing excessively. Some men assume they've done something wrong and over-apologize or seek validation, like, "Did I do something to upset you?" or "I'm sorry if I did anything wrong." While it may seem accountable, it communicates insecurity and self-doubt. Seeking validation hands the power to her. You're asking her to dictate your worth, lowering your value in her eyes. A high-value man knows his worth. He doesn't need constant reassurance. Excessive apologies are just as damaging. Women aren't attracted to men who crumble at the first sign of tension. Instead, maintain composure. If you've made a mistake, own it once. A straightforward apology is enough. Anything beyond that screams weakness and desperation. Silence can often mean nothing at all. She might be busy, testing you, or unsure of her feelings. Obsessing over her response or seeking validation only reduces your attractiveness. The best move, self-assurance. Assume you've done nothing wrong unless there's clear evidence otherwise. Give her space to miss you and realize your absence. Confidence is what matters. Avoid seeking validation and you'll position yourself as a man who knows his worth, immensely attractive. Mistake 5. Trying to make her jealous. Some men post pictures with other women, brag about their social life, or drop hints about desirability to spark jealousy. It seems smart superficially, but it usually backfires. Trying to make her jealous is transparent. Women can see when a man is performing to get a reaction. Instead of appearing high value, you look petty, insecure, and desperate. This tactic can create long-term damage. If she feels jealous, she might see your behavior as manipulative or immature. She could even play the same game, pushing you into a toxic cycle rather than building a healthy dynamic. The better approach, live authentically. If you're genuinely a high-value man, your life speaks for itself. Focus on your passions, goals, and personal growth, not to impress her, but for yourself. Indifference to outside validation is highly attractive. Women notice when you're not seeking their reaction. True confidence is rare. The man who doesn't play games stands out. Focus on building real value, improving fitness, advancing your career, pursuing interests. Women are drawn to self-sufficient, content men. Avoid trying to make her jealous, and you project emotional maturity and confidence. Let her come to you naturally. Mistake 6. Waiting around for her to respond. Putting your life on hold waiting for her attention is one of the worst mistakes. It signals neediness and makes her see your life as revolving around her. Waiting achieves nothing. If she's ignoring you, her focus isn't on you. A high-value man prioritizes his goals, hobbies, and growth instead of obsessing over unanswered messages. Channel that energy into yourself. Gym, career, learning new skills, spending time with valuable friends. Your time is precious. Wasting it waiting to wait for her diminishes your power. A man with a mission exudes confidence and independence. By focusing on yourself, you reclaim power, show fulfillment without her, and protect your self-worth. If she reaches out, she finds a thriving man, not someone in self-pity. If she doesn't, that's her loss. Mistake 7. Changing who you are to please her. It's tempting to alter your personality or adopt her interests to win attention. This might seem logical, but it destroys respect and authenticity. Women are attracted to men confident in their identity, firm in values and lifestyle. Changing to fit her mold signals insecurity. I'll do anything for your approval. That's unattractive. Stay unapologetically yourself. If she ignores you because of who you are, she's not the right fit. Growth should come from self-improvement, not pleasing someone else. Stand firm in your identity. That's how you reclaim power, command respect, and remain desirable. Conclusion. When a woman ignores you, maintain your composure and self-respect. Avoid over-chasing, seeking validation, reacting emotionally, or trying to control the outcome. Focus on self-improvement and authenticity. The right woman will be drawn to your confidence and independence. If she doesn't appreciate your value, that's her loss. Your time and energy are precious. Don't waste them on someone unwilling to invest. Stand firm in your worth and let the right person come to you on her terms. Comment below with the mistakes you've made or are making, and let's correct them together. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Stoic Approach to Life.